It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my close pal, the man with the plan, the one and only John Meleka. I'm back, baby, back from vacation. We ready to do this stuff. I was out for a week. These guys held it down. You already know what it is. These guys did a phenomenal job. We have Greg with us today, John with us today. Woo! But while I was out, there was some crazy news. Crazy news. I get to come back to mayhem, but it's all good. We're here right now. But before we get into this conversation, you all know the drill. If you listen to this podcast and you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give it that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We're also partnered with Minute Media and Fanside, so you can find this podcast on the Jet Press or the Daily Knicks. We also got a YouTube page, Knicks, Jets, ETC, period. No one writes out, etc. That shit is wild. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, leave a comment, add to the conversation. We want to know your thoughts and opinions as well. Come on. Jets preseason, baby. We just saw the New York Jets beat John. They just beat the team last week. They won. They beat the Eagles.
I can't be excited about beating the Eagles in preseason, man.
But hey, it happened. We got the Falcons the upcoming week, but it's all good. I know Zach Wilson went down. It was the Flacco show for a bit.
It wasn't Flacco. Flacco didn't play.
You're right. Flacco didn't play.
It's going to be the Flacco show.
Yeah, it's going to be the Flacco show. Mike White, baby. Hall of Famer Mike White. I'm sorry. Getting things confused. I'm excited to talk about Joe Flacco today. Not. But hey, we're here. Also, while you're over at the YouTube page, we got another podcast that's also partnered with Minute Media. Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our guy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every sport possible. MLB, NBA, PGA, NFL, NHL, you name it. These guys got you covered. If you need to put money down on the line, there's no better guys to check out than these guys. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Greg, John, my guys, you guys did a great job last week. I'm sorry that it was all through the mayhem while I was out. I guess I have to promise to never go on vacation again because clearly things just go sideways. Man, where should we start? Let's start off with the number one priority, because I guess I alluded to it with Flacco and preemptively talking about him. We have one Mr. Zach Wilson. Mr. Zach Wilson. It's probably going to be out 2, 4, hopefully not 6 weeks, man. Hopefully not. But we had a terrifying scare. We all thought, I should say, not you. We all thought the season was over. As Jets way would go. You didn't think so? Oh, man.
I saw that. Think the season was over. It did not look like an ACL. I have lots of issues with Pro Football Doc talking about.
Tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel.
This is so stupid, man. He didn't even. It did not look like an ACL at all. First of all, it was clearly moving to the side, right? Usually that you see that knee buckle like straight. You want to say ACL because it's in the front. I'm not a doctor. I just watch a lot of sports, and to make a full determination that it's an ACL when there's like such an easy test that they could do on the spot to see if it's intact or not. And that's why they said it was intact in the first day and they didn't want to go any further. It was just so ridiculous that the season was over. I mean, I was pissed off. Because, the first series ended in an interception, right? In a horrible throw, right? Like thrown on the under to the linebacker. It's kind of tough. That was like a James Winston kind of interception, right? And then the second play down, you get hurt. Like, it just sucks. And at first we thought it was the PCL. All right, but it's not. It was a bone bruise and a meniscus. Thankfully, like you said, 2 to 4 weeks. It probably is going to be 6 weeks, like you said. but it is good news, right? Like 6 weeks from now is week 3.
Relatively, it's good news. It's good news
it's
because
great
we didn't lose our
news.
quarterback. Yeah, we didn't. Look, man, missing your quarterback for any time to get important reps is never good news. But it's in relation. It's not an entire season, so yes. But I digress.
It's good, man. It's all good. It's going to be the Flacco show, as Greg was talking about. But what up, Greg? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I mean, what a way to start this episode, say that you didn't think it was an ACL. The whole world thought it was the ACL. Whether it was
Not the whole world, just Pro Football Doc on Twitter.
Everyone said it was
man,
ACL.
Twitter was on a blaze.
Everyone in our group chat said
ACL. A guy
ACL.
called himself Pro Football Doctor. He said it's torn ACL. Then you have websites writing it's torn ACL. It was just ridiculous.
Maybe you have a special eye for those kind of things.
I don't have a special eye.
An ACL. It looked like an ACL, dude. When you go out, when you're running around on the field and you juke and you go down and you grab your knee, that's an ACL. Like, those are the steps. Like, check the box. That's what happened.
He got right up. He got a little bit of a limp.
And then he went down.
Fine.
You know who else did that?
He walked fine to the locker room.
He went down and called for trainers. He went down and called for trainers.
To the locker room.
He
literally walked to the locker room. He was. Come on.
Yeah, he didn't get carted off.
What are we talking about? Like,
Terrell Beavis walked off, man, with the torn ACL. Come on.
That was just way different situation. Like when Darrell Revis found out, he couldn't move. He could not get up. He could. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like a special eye. Everybody said it.
The whole world said it was an ACL
because. It was the prime. I know it was.
Coach Salas said in the press conference ACL instead of MRI. He was even confused. He was getting thrown around a little bit.
He said it was intact.
I was making a joke. Someone said someone asked him a question about it, and he just got confused. He's like, "We'll have to wait to see what the ACL says instead of the MRI." And then he got caught up. He's like, MRI. Like, he got caught up a little bit after the game. So
dude, it was frustrating.
Yeah, even him was on his mind. But
look, man,
because it was right after Becton, man. It was right after Becton. I just went down. Yeah, and everybody's saying he's going to be okay for the first 5 minutes.
We had that.
All of a sudden, he broke his knee.
Yeah.
He broke it. Like, it went from he might be fine to his knee's broken.
One thing I do
when you go back to Zach Wilson and you tell me he's okay. Or maybe everyone's like, okay, I don't know. Like last time, same thing. And his knee was broken, and it was from last year's injury. So that's why we were a little on edge.
For sure. And one thing I do want to point out, though, Alex, to your point about the season being over, I don't know if I ever thought the season was over. Like, if Zach Wilson goes down, it sucks because we don't know what Zach Wilson is yet, and we need to figure that out sooner rather than later. But I think with Joe Flacco, Mike White, there's other guys out there, too, that we could bring in if we need to. I still think we have a very young, talented team. 5.5 wins.
Don't say it, Greg.
Still possibility. But I'm not terrified. If Zach Wilson's out for the year, I wouldn't say the season's over. Just shut the whole thing down. I still think we have a talented team. I think our defense is going to lead us. So, we need to know what Zach Wilson is. So it's great that he is coming back at some point. I don't think he should rush back.
For sure, I agree with that.
But I don't think the season was over if he was out for the year. I think we still have enough pieces.
I think it was over from the standpoint of, I would have thought it would have been over from the standpoint of, you're talking about valuation of Zach Wilson. If we lost a year 2 of Zach Wilson come on, man. Like, that's tough to go. Then we got to wait for year 3. You're talking about 17 games you got to watch without your franchise quarterback, young quarterback.
Well, that would have been about CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, man. We're looking to the college football ranks.
Or if you're checking Twitter like I was as I was watching the game on vacation, you're seeing Jimmy Garoppolo names coming up to the Jets.
I told Greg not to say it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I knew exactly what you didn't want me to say, but I want to say it anyway.
Out of my face, bro. I hate Jimmy G. I hate New England. I want nothing to do with him. He's just another depth guy. Like, you guys are depth is really nice until you have to use it. And this is a perfect example. Right, because going into 2 weeks, right before that game started, we would say the Jets have the best depth at quarterback in the NFL, right? Because behind Zach Wilson was supposed to be good, we got Hall of Famer Mike White, as we like to call him, and Joe Flacco, who, I don't want to say he did amazing with the Jets last year, but he was able to make some plays. You know what I mean? I think he played pretty decent with the Jets last year, and we'll get into that a little bit. I don't know if it's sheer. It is sheer luck, but the football gods gave us his division the first 4 weeks of the season, the division that he's been playing his whole entire life. I mean, can we have wrote it any better?
I want him
Is
to
Joe
play
Flacco
all
gonna
4
versus
weeks.
Steelers?
I want him to play
Oh
all
my
4 weeks.
God.
Let Zach Wilson get healthy, baby. Let's go, Joe Flacco. I don't think I
Versus
can do
the
a whole
North.
season.
How crazy is that?
That'd be
dude?
great.
What a coincidence.
Beat the Steelers, beat everybody.
First one, no, hold on. Wait a minute. You get Joe Flacco going against the Baltimore Ravens, week 1.
I mean, that's the case.
You can't write it any better than that. You really can't. And to John's point, like Flacco, when he came in, when Zach was out for part of the season last year, he did an okay job. It wasn't anything phenomenal. He was a solid game manager because I don't think he was ready to be called upon and be the quarterback, just coming in and just showing like, all right, time to like try to win some games. Like he kept it competitive. I'll say that. You know, when Zach was struggling, he came in and was like, okay, we look like a competent team. Elijah Moore was getting his touches. You saw everybody was like really a cohesive unit to a certain degree. Not a juggernaut, just a competent team that made it somewhat competitive. And you got to look back to the Arizona Cardinals game and the Miami Dolphins game that he played last season. So Flacco coming in, he's getting the reps now.
Listen,
Is anyone worried? I'm not worried, but you're just happy that we're gonna have Zach Wilson back at some point this season. That's all that matters.
Ravens week 1 at MetLife. Week 2, you're at the Browns with Jacoby Brissett and no center. Right, their second center just got injured. They're having a tough time over there. Week 3, home, Nick Mangold day at MetLife versus the Bengals. And if anything happens, you know what Mike White can do against the Bengals. So I'm sure he's going to be waiting.
Oh, okay. Hold on. If Mike White is starting that game, you best believe the Cincinnati Bengals are coming out with their A game to show up Mike White. I don't even care what anyone says. They're already going to have that game circled from last season. But if Mike White is on the field, good Lord, I feel bad for that man.
I mean, like, that'd be nice to just be like some sort of relief pitcher for that game if Flacco has miraculous 2 games. Right, because it's how it works out with the Ravens and the easy Browns game. Hopefully, works out the Bengals, and then 4 you go to Pittsburgh. Joe Flacco goes back to Pittsburgh. Could that man have written it any better in his whole life? Like that could be his last game, October 2nd. Right, that leaves a lot of time for Zach Wilson to get back, get the practice reps. Nobody's gonna freak out if he comes back week 3 and he gets hurt. Week 4 and he gets hurt, you can blame the organization. If it's now week 5, right, on a surgery you had August 16 and you tell me 2 to 4 weeks, you really can't blame. Then it goes to injury prone, 1 bad knee that he keeps getting hurt by. So in that aspect, it sucks when you have depth, when you have to actually use it. It's great to just talk about and say we have the best backup quarterbacks. But as it stands, man, Joe Douglas was good at keeping both of those guys, even though obviously Zach Wilson was our quote-unquote franchise quarterback. And I'm okay with Joe Flacco, dude. Nothing changes for me. That 5.5, like you mentioned, Greg, shout out Winning Picks Weekly. Shameless plug if you're looking for NCAA football college conferences where you are breaking them all down one by one. You mentioned the over 5.5.
We're going to do the same thing for NFL divisions and win totals.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 5.5. I'm still cool with that. Are you guys still cool with that?
Yeah.
Greg, I know you said yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Zach Wilson coming back later. I don't know. Like it's nice. Like he did really well when he came back last year.
The only thing that makes me nervous about that, John, is the fact that he came back from an injury last season. He looked good down the stretch. He had all off season to prepare. He went to Idaho or whatever, threw around the football. He traveled the country, threw the football at people, took Instagram pictures all summer long.
Shout out to One Jets Drive.
And then
got that dog in him.
And then he's got we all know about the dog. And then all of a sudden, week 1, drive 1, he throws one of the most unbelievable interceptions I've seen in my lifetime, right to a defender.
That was such a Mark Sanchez interception.
You said it perfect. Jameis Winston in his prime-esque. Like, it was unbelievable. Yeah. It couldn't have been more to the linebacker if he tried. Just stared down Corey Davis the whole time, threw it right to him. It was like, what are we doing? Like you had all offseason to practice and prep and prepare, and you're just staring guys down. You're week one. I get it. It's week one. It's the first drive. You're only playing 2 drives. But that combined with on your second drive, you go out there and you're scrambling and fumbling. It's the preseason, dude. Just you're out there to get reps. Just throw the ball away. Don't get hit. Don't get hurt, and move on. Who cares? These games don't matter. So
Hey, man.
2 boneheaded decisions kind of worries me a little bit right now.
Hey, man, it could be a lot worse. You could be like Deshaun Watson out there, just missing guys, going like 1 for 5, not hitting anybody, hitting nobody.
Who
But
cares?
the thing is, we're not talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like when you look at Zach, like it's I get it. You go through all the reps and whatnot. Practice is much different than game action. Off-season training is much different than game action. 7-on-7s, 11, 7-on-7, no pads. It's very different. Very different when you got an opposing team who doesn't care what happens to you coming at you. So game 1 of the preseason, everyone's a little bit rusty to a certain degree. Zach Wilson year 2, give him some time, give him some reps. I'm not happy that he's going to be coming back later in the season because now he's still going to have to get ready and used to some reps without using this preseason because this preseason is the important part for getting ready. He's going to come back. And we're going to be like, it was like the whole conversation for Mekhi Becton, right? We're like, oh, well, Mekhi Becton's going to need a couple weeks for him to get back into rhythm. It's going to be the same thing for Zach Wilson. If you didn't like what you saw for like a little bit of time during game 1, I can't see it quicking as soon as he comes back.
Dude, no other quarterback is playing. The Jets get hurt. Their quarterback gets hurt every preseason. Every single quarterback we have at some point gets hurt in the preseason. And then we see other teams not playing in the preseason. Maybe let's just forget about it. That's why we signed, our that third string quarterback to just play. Like, let him play. Like, I'm done. I'm done getting hurt in the preseason. I'm not blaming Zach Wilson for that. Why? Because he didn't go out of bounds and he made a cut to the left. Like, it was like
throw the
that
ball
was
away,
fine.
dude.
No, it's dumb. No
away.
one's.
No, he was just running. It was fine. Like you were telling me, he's getting prepped for the season. He ran 8 yards. Like
I'm not against that.
It's fine. He shouldn't get hurt from that. I don't know. I'm not too mad about it. But just shifting gears a little bit to something I'm not too mad about, and that's Joe Douglas finally, protecting this offensive line. Because speaking of Zach Wilson in training camp, and we saw it today too a little bit. Our quarterback's getting sacked in practice, man. We're having a tough time with the tackles. We still haven't had our potential starting tackles playing together yet, but the news came in. Duane Brown got his deal. What's really interesting, and I guess I'm putting on my Jeremy Cohen cap rules everything around me cream hat. It's a ascending contract. And I think this is the first ascending contract, meaning he's getting less guaranteed money this year, and it's popping up. It's going to be a huge, way more money next year for Duane Brown. It's very interesting. It's Joe Douglas's first time he's done that with a free agent. We know that his free agent signings for veterans have been amazing. But George Fant is one of those good signings. And the poor guy, Fant, Duane Brown in the shadows, like Greg mentioned again, from Seattle, Font moving back to the right. We mentioned that he has only he already got $1 million on a signing bonus, and technically he could be cut for $11 million. It's not guaranteed. The rest of his money's not guaranteed this year, and the Jets can get it off the books. I'm wondering if somehow, some way, they're basically just going to keep it or kind of transfer it over to some sort of bonus and kind of guarantee that for him and just say we'll fully pay you out this year. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to throw it up to you guys because we've got the Duane Brown stuff. I know how you guys both feel about Joe Douglas signing people. Not so hot on the Joe Douglas train with that. But how do you guys feel about Font? Do you think he's going to start for longer than this year? Is it just like a 1-year deal? Is he going to get an extension? Like, how do you think this is going to play out? Because, I mean, if he gets hurt, literally the Jets can't pay him. Like, it's on incentive deals. It's not like
You said Font. Are you talking about Font or Brown?
Well, Brown is signed. They're talking about Font. He's not guaranteed. So he's looking for that extension because he wanted the left tackle extension. He already moved to right again, doing whatever the team needs.
Yep.
Number one, his knee is healthy enough to practice. And I don't know. I just don't know how he doesn't even have a guaranteed deal. right now. So I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you guys think this is going to work out?
Look, man, I think they're going to go into the season and just evaluate because
You think they're going to leave it as is? You think Duane Brown? You think George Fant's going to play on a non-guaranteed contract this year?
what other
That's
what other
tough.
options? What other options does he have?
I mean, to hold out.
Yeah, to not
He could
play
easily
and just
hold
try to
out.
go to another
Yeah.
team.
I mean,
He's
I
not going to do
guess
that, but he could do it.
sure, but then what does that mean for like George? Like, is George Font really that cachet name that can hold? Is he? You think he's that cachet of a name that he can hold out, get moved to another team, and then
Give me
what?
someone's left tackle tomorrow.
Yeah, I
I
would
guess the
say
question is, I mean, sure, but yet, I guess my then rebuttal to that is, what team needs a left tackle?
there's probably 10 teams in the league that would take him tomorrow.
Yeah,
Nothing
I think that there's
crazy,
more
not a
leverage
Super
than you
Bowl,
think.
not a Super Bowl contender, but there's 10 teams that would take him. The Miami Dolphins would take him in a heartbeat. They have nobody on the offensive line.
And so I mean, I honestly I feel bad. I really like him. He's not playing on a guaranteed deal. I think that they were somehow going to work it out, either change it up where you know how people start going crazy and say, "Oh, the NFL salary cap it's all fake," because people convert contracts into bonuses to make it guaranteed. I think that might happen, or maybe they'll restructure it in a way where he gets a guaranteed this year and incentives for next year, just in case. You know what I mean? I don't know, but all I do know is the Jets quarterbacks have been getting killed in training camp every single week. I mean, I know we're going to have a stout defense, and I'm excited about that. But every single week, every single day, we hear Jermaine Johnson would be sacked.
That was going to be my question to you, John, is are you worried about the offensive line, or do you think that the defensive line is just that good? Because if you look at the preseason game, we gave up 0 sacks the entire game. And I don't think Fant played. Duane Brown definitely didn't play. He's not on the team yet. And we had 5 sacks on defense. So do you think that our offensive line is like needs help, or do you think our defensive line is just that good that they're winning in practice, but then they're also going to translate that and win on the field this year?
I think our offensive line is good if we have our starters. I don't think we could roll out with Idoga and Mitchell on week 1 of a normal game. I think we'll get absolutely murked. And in that same token, Greg, we're not only do we have a good defense, and and why I'm really excited about Joe Flacco, to be honest with you, a veteran at the helm here, is because we're gonna check to so many runs. We're gonna throw to so many underneaths. Guys, Breece Hall is so good.
Yeah.
And followed by Michael Carter. And the tight ends are getting so many balls and they're so involved. I mean, this is such an easy offense. And for a veteran to run it gets me excited. So I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? With Zach Wilson, I'm worried. Every single snap, I'm worried. Every series,
For sure.
I'm worried. With
But there's
Flacco, I'm at least going to be – there's at least a floor here, right? There's at least a floor.
Great
Like, I
point.
really do think, like, 5 games is – like, if Flacco started every single game this year, I know that – I'm so happy that it's not the case because he's eventually going to get old and be tired, right? If he could just, like, give it his all for 4 games. But let's just call it, like, realistic. The first quarter of the season, if you can go 500 – man, like that's amazing. Like that'd be really good. Like controlled the offense, stout defense. I think we could actually stop the run if CJ Mosley plays. We'll talk about the defense a little bit because I got to talk about Greg's boy coming up soon. But you know, I'm excited to have a veteran to just ground and pound, dude. We're gonna ground and pound the hell out of this ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you're. I understand being like resting assured that Joe Flacco could handle it and bring that veteran presence that this team needs because, as you said, it's an easy offense. The LaFleur system is, you know, spread it out, look for guys who are open, check down, find your tight ends. If you got something deep, go get it to them, take that chance. But it's a good concern with Zach Wilson. You know, like, is Zach Wilson good? Like, it's a good concern because you get to watch him develop and you get to figure out, is he going to be the quarterback of this team moving forward? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that concern. And that's what you want to see, right? That's how this is that growing process of, hey, let's give him the reins. Let's see what he can do on the field. I'm fine with that, but not concerned with Joe Flacco. That's fine. But I want to touch on one more thing about Fant and Duane Brown. do you think? Where do you think this leads? Let's say, because Duane Brown signed a 2-year contract, right? Talk
Yep.
about it. Where do you see this team moving? Because Fant, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at left tackle. He was solid. Do you think there's a chance where they switch it around, where Duane Brown plays right tackle at some point during the season and Fant? No.
Never.
Okay. So then, what do you think then, moving forward for George Fant? Do you think a deal has to
That's
get
what I'm
done now?
saying. That's
Do you
what I'm
think-
saying. Because listen, it's a $9 million dead cap for Duane Brown. He's our left tackle this year, 100%. Next year, it's a $6 million dead cap. He's gonna be on the team next year, starting.
Are you
We're
happy
not
with
gonna
Duane
put him
Brown
on the
being the
bench.
left tackle?
Yeah, because he's a veteran. He's on the field. He plays. I need a left tackle who's going to be there every single day. And honestly, that's why I like Font so much, right? And that's why we need to keep him. That's why we need to take care of him, dude. Because I know it was a contract year last year at the left, so that gives me a little bit of worry. He had his best season, but everything we ask him to do, he does. He was a veteran when he came in here. Like he dealt with this Duane Brown issue in Seattle. He came to the Jets. We got Mekhi Becton, right? Some prize fighter in the first round. We're like, dude, he's gonna start left. He's like, all right, fine, I'll move to right, but I don't want to, especially because he knew his contract situation coming up here. Mekhi Becton gets hurt. George Fant does okay at right tackle. Mekhi Becton gets hurt, flips to left, does amazing. Bring in Duane Brown, his arch nemesis. It feels like obviously they're boys, but like every time the poor guy is about to get the left tackle position, gets moved over to the right, Duane Brown comes in. He's not going anywhere. So it's just one of those things where I want the team to take care of him, and he's not going to play this whole year with no guaranteed money. It's just not going to happen. So I'm wondering what is going to happen. Are they going to restructure his deal, just pay him out the rest of the 10 mil cash in some sort of bonus? You know what I mean? Because again, they ascended Duane Brown's contract. First time Joe Douglas has ever done that. So it gives me a little bit of pause as to how the rest of the season is going to approach. I know that we're going to cut Eddie Pinheiro, and that's going to save about $1 million too. So like there's some money to pick up here and there. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be enough to. I think we're going to have to give Font a couple of years, but I don't know if he's going to want it from us. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to want to start left tackle somewhere, and if he's not going to be left tackle here next year either, I think he's going to want a 1-year, $10 million deal, to be honest with you.
I'm completely okay with that if that's the case.
I mean, he wants 3-year 30, right? That's what he wants, probably. So he'll probably take 1 year, maybe 12. You know what I mean? So that next year he can make some money on the left tackle. I don't know. It sucks for him. I hope he's taken care of, honestly. That's why I brought it up, and that's why I've been concerned. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, just sign Duane Brown, but makes everything a little complicated.
I wouldn't like that if George Fant. I mean, he's younger. He's 30. You're talking about Duane Brown, who's 36. You're then looking back to replace a left tackle again, so it doesn't really make sense. So they should I think they should. I agree with you, John. Like they should take care of him. But I just feel like I have this feeling that we're just going to.
I know.
I have a feeling that we're going to let this thing drag out, and I don't like that. Yeah,
it looks bad.
No, it looks bad because we do this to all of the, and we talk about it so many times. We do this to all the key guys that we want. Where Joe Douglas is like, yeah, like seriously.
Why would you help out the Jets then? Like this is like that. That's what's tough. Like if you're objectively looking at the Jets as a player, like if you look at Marcus May, you know
exactly.
what I mean?
I was going to bring up Marcus May too. Like Marcus May played on the last year of his deal.
Looks bad.
So, and you know what happened? Like I hate saying, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to jinx it, but we know what happened with Marcus May and how that ended. You hope it's not the same way for George Fant. So,
and that's exactly what he wants to avoid. But let's speak on a little bit of a left turn here. Let's talk about some good news about Joe Douglas. That's Quan Alexander. Thank the Lord. Thank God Quan Alexander is going to be the linebacker next to C.J. Mosley. Because if I have to watch Quincy Williams do more nonsense every single game.
You didn't like that hit after outside of the sideline on the quarterback?
What was that, dude? What was, even if that's week 7, that's egregious. quarter one of the first preseason game,
Yeah,
bro.
like the second drive or something like that, like early. First or second
very
drive.
early. Very early. He just I
That was
couldn't believe
tough,
when I
man.
saw
So
that.
By the
really
way,
happy
on a
Quan is
third
there.
down, on a stop, like the drive was over, we were out of
Yeah.
it, and just a terrible
Give up
penalty
points.
that led
Yo,
to
I was
7.
like, he just knocked Jalen Hurts down, right? It was Jalen Hurts that he knocked down, right?
Yeah.
And like he just knocked him down. I was like, yo, you are so out of bounds. Like it's not even like I get like you like he like maybe you don't like conceptually know where you are, but like it was pretty deep out of bounds. Like we're talking about you're now like seeing players next to you on the sidewalk. That was wild.
Yeah, it was
Also,
insane.
you put Zach. I mean, Zach Wilson got hurt on his own accord. But you actually did put, the Jets quarterback at risk. If Jalen Hurts gets hurt
Oh,
on a late play, I mean,
in preseason,
just forfeit the game because like they're gonna kill us.
pull Zach Wilson. Yeah, pull out Zach Wilson
Yeah.
immediately.
So yeah, that was kind of messed up. But I'm glad Quan is there. Greg, you have something to say about our draft pick, Mr. Clemens?
Scary guy. He was all over it. I'm happy for him. He
Monster.
looked like he was playing good. Scary guy, man. I was texting with John at one point. I think he like led up like a 1-yard run to his side. I wish I could find the clip of it because I would use the gift all season. He was just slamming the ground, just like freaking out that he led up 1 yard to his side. Like he is scary, man, and he's looking good. There was a couple defensive guys later on in the game, second, third, fourth quarter, that I was kind of surprised with. That I'm hoping could make some sort of impact because we have a lot of them, but it seems like we're rotating them in and out. Maybe we're just trying to find who we're keeping and who we're getting rid of because that's kind of where we're at right now in the season. But
I mean, Tanzel's smart. We didn't discuss it, but he has to be one of those guys you were talking about. He absolutely killed it on the field. And today they moved from 90 to 85.
yeah,
I mean, that definitely got his spot because they cut the guy right behind him.
yes, they did.
In Ward, so they were definitely fighting for a spot there. So just to recap of the cuts for today from 90 to 85, got a DB Barco, offensive lineman Derek Kelly, Timmy Ward, like we mentioned, and wide receiver Rashard Davis, who made some sparks on Jets Twitter during training camp, but honestly during the game, like he muffed 2 special teams balls. Like what do I do with you? You know what I mean? If you can't be the backup to Braxton, if you can't play special teams like Alex says when you're on the edge of the roster, you become expendable. On the other hand, Mims, I mean, he's putting in work, man. So Calvin Jackson on the back there, he seems to be a fan favorite out here, a coaching favorite, getting some balls. So I would say, Black and Irvin Charles are definitely on the hot seat when it comes to wide receiver. So that's just like speaking cuts, kind of some back end stuff. There's about to be another 5 cuts coming up soon before it goes all the way down to 53. But then you can have 16 on the practice squad.
Yep.
Which makes it 69. Nice. So
Any worried about one of your tight ends over there?
You literally read my mind.
Because Rucker looked
literally
pretty
read
good.
my mind. Dude,
Tucker did look pretty good, man.
I think I'm worried about Yeboah.
Yeah.
I'm worried
Kenny
about
is
Yeboah.
not gonna make that, bro. He's not gonna make it.
But listen, if there's some strategy here because if you make it past the next 5 too, like from down to 85,
Yep.
then if you from the 85 down to the 53, again we say there's another 16 that goes to the practice squad. Like that means you have a chance of making the practice squad. I feel like right these next 5, you're kind of struggle to make the practice squad too. So I wonder if Yeboah could at least make it there. But dude, I mean, the tight end room is nice, dude. With Conklin and Uzama. I mean, Ruckert is nice. So here's the thing, dude. You know who I think is definitely gone? I think Bowden is gone. I think Nick Bowden, that fullback we got, I think he's gone. I think we're gonna put tight ends there. I don't think he's worth it.
Who are you gonna use there?
Wesco?
Yeah, I mean Wesco would be nice. So you could have 4 tight ends there, and then Things people could steal people off the practice squad. So if somebody steals Cager, my boy, wide receiver turned tight end from Georgia.
3 years in, and this is still your boy.
Still my boy. He's a tight end now. He's making plays today. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
my
they're both just guys that I like. I don't know if they're gonna get any playing time, but it's so funny. You really read my mind. That's the things I'm worried about. Like when I'm checking the roster cuts, like I'm worried about the back end players. I'm checking the tight ends. I do, dude. I love Zonovan Knight. That backup running back. He better make the team. Honestly, I think when Michael Piron's gone, I'm so happy Tevin Coleman's on that.
He had 10 carries though, P. Ryan.
I know.
We ran a lot of running backs this week. I was kind of surprised by that.
Here's the thing, dude. Like the farther you get in preseason game, the more the back end depth chart you're on. You know what I mean? It's like the only time in the league like you really see it.
That's true.
So if you're like getting a lot of time in the back, you're like,
That's a great point. Like you don't want what was it? Michael Carter? He had 5 carries? Or no, not Michael Carter. Brees Hall.
Yeah, he had 3. Yeah, Brees Hall had 5 carries.
All the first quarter.
All the first quarter, and they got better as they went. That was the one note I had about that. First 3 were kind of okay. Fourth one looked a little bit better, got some more yardage. Fifth one again looked like he got the ball rolling a little bit. I'm excited to see that in the regular season when he gets 16 carries in a game, what that can kind of turn into. But to your point, that's a great point. Like if you're P. Ryan, you might be kind of shook that you got 10 carries because like these guys are out here seeing if I'm about to get cut. I mean, he averaged 5 yards a carry, but again, you're going against 3rd and 4th string guys. So I hope you could get 5 yards a carry as a guy who used to actually be a starting running back in the NFL.
Yeah, like the DB room is getting shorter too. Like Wild Goose got a lot of playing time. He's probably on the back end there. Justin Hardy got a nice ring of endorsement today, so he's staying. Luke Barco probably on the back end there. Isaiah Dunn has been getting a lot of time everywhere. Every time I see training camp, he got a lot of preseason time. I think Isaiah Dunn is he's like one of those projects that the Jets I feel like want to be right about. So I hope they are right about him. But I don't know, dude. Can Eccles, Michael Carter, Goodry, and Dunn all make it? Like they're all playing the same position. I don't know.
We've many
DJ Reed's hamstring thing. It doesn't look that serious because he's playing, in training camp or in practice. So I mean, can't take that too seriously. So I don't know, man. I'm excited about the Bryces. Bryces played well. It was a good game.
The Bryces, they all look pretty good.
What do you guys? I mean, Eddie Pinheiro getting hurt, of course. That's what I really care about. I'm not going to even bring up the fact that our special teams punting still hurts my soul, and that the punter I wanted.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it, John.
It's preseason. It's preseason. I'm not going to bring it up.
You didn't want him. You didn't want him. You wanted the other guy. You wanted the other guy.
I wanted any punter.
You didn't.
John
want
is shocked.
I wanted any of the 2 punters. Everyone laughs at me.
I wanted the one guy. I wanted the guy that punts 85 yards. Everyone made fun of me. That's too far, they said. So what are you talking about? Too far? Is there such a thing?
Dude, he's going to be in Buffalo. He's going to kill it, man.
You're going to start every drive on the 20 all season when you play Buffalo. There's nothing you can do about it. The guy kicks forever. But I digress.
So I think Greg the Leg is going to get the
kicking job.
Job. But, dude, I'm worried about Braden Mann. I'm pissed off that we didn't get the damn punter. I knew you knew what I was talking about. I'm annoyed. Braden Mann making tackles in preseason. Tough look. Really tough look, man. I mean, boy, what are we doing, man? I don't know. So I guess
I could see that this podcast has really turned once we got to special teams. My goodness.
One question I did have while we're on special teams real quick. I don't know if you guys saw Tevin Coleman. So we talked about Ruckert. He went on
Coleman.
That weird designation. I still forget whatever it is. INF.
What's up?
What's that weird designation they have in the preseason that they put, I think, Tevin Coleman on? And I think Ruckert too.
Oh yeah, the non-football injury related.
Yeah. So
yes,
that was we're all speculating what that meant for Tevin Coleman. He came in, he got 1 punt return, and that was it.
I know, so he's back. He's back. What quarter was that?
I think the first quarter, because I was like shocked. I was like, what is going on? I think Braxton did 1 or 2, and then there was Tevin Coleman, and then it was our backup guy for the rest of the game.
Well, that's why the backup guy got cut, Rashard Davis, because he also muffed both of them too. Those are not clean.
Yeah, so like,
But, I mean,
is Tevin Coleman? Are they looking at him not being a running back and being a special teams guy, or is it just to get him some reps?
I think he's trying to make the squad, bro. I think
Really?
they're looking at. Yeah, I think him and Ty Johnson are fighting for a spot. And I promise you, I think Zonovan Knight is fighting for his spot. He looks so damn good, man. He runs with his back straight, like Breece Hall. I don't know, dude. I like what I see. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, and Zonovan Knight is a really nice 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I'm with you.
Let me ask you guys a question though.
I think Tevin Coleman's still going to make the roster. I think they're going to want that veteran running back there, man. Think
Tevin
so?
Coleman?
Yep. Also,
I mean, listen, if they're penny pinching, they can save some money, dude.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Tevin Coleman do some punt returning and kick returning when he was down in Atlanta? I'm pretty sure he did. I think he did.
Atlanta. When you remember those days? I mean, Tevin Coleman does. He does have I mean, half his money is guaranteed. He has a 1.5 mil. Ty Johnson's going to get cut. So maybe it'll be Tevin Coleman as the third, and then Knight as the backup. But then what happens to Ty Johnson? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's some speculation around the running backs room. That's talking running backs. What do you guys think about Quinton Williams? Looking for an extension here. Seems to be hurt, but I don't know if it's real hurt. You guys have any thoughts on Q Will? The real Q Will. Not the guy, not his brother smacking people on the sideline.
Yeah, that needs to stop immediately. I don't know. Do you know what his injury designation is? Like, what's wrong with him? Is it a leg injury, ankle injury?
I'm pretty sure it's a foot.
A foot.
Ankle. Dealing with ankle injury, not believed to be serious. Will be fine, Salah says.
I mean,
he's looking for an extension. So
he needs to play.
This should be the year that he does well, and everyone tells me, "Oh, it's fake because it's a contract year."
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't show up this year, I don't know if there's a reason to extend him. I mean, he was super young when he came into the league. He's been here 5 years. We haven't done anything as a franchise in 5 years. I think he's been through 3 or 4 coaches, it feels like. So I don't know if you can really blame the guy, but I'm not trying to spend big money on a defensive tackle that hasn't really done anything in the league yet. I mean, it's tough. It's kind of it's honestly going to be kind of like what Mekhi Becton's going to be looking at. If he ever
reminds me more of Leonard Williams, man.
Leonard Williams, I thought had a couple good years though.
I mean, he plays like him and Leonard Williams are really like they play well. They have decent games. They affect the game without the numbers. They look for contract extensions. I mean, I like him on the line. I just don't know how much I'm paying him.
Leonard Williams, I thought, had a weird thing where, like, didn't we have, like, a stud defensive line, and then we drafted him in the first round? And it was like he can't even find playing time because our defensive line is so good. Like
we had snacks. I think we had Muhammad Wilkerson. We had
Sheldon
Richardson. It was stacked.
It was tough. Like, he was a rotational guy, and he was a top 10 pick, I think, in that draft. So...
they couldn't believe he dropped type deal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they had such a high grade on him, and they were able to get him, which I get because those other guys moved on, and he was there for a little bit. But Q Will has had the opportunity to play every down, every season he's been on this team. And he hasn't flashed to the extent I was expecting him to flash, it being such a high pick. I mean, he was phenomenal in college, but he just hasn't had any support. I mean, this is going to be the best defense he's going to be on, and it's going into his 5th year, I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
no, this would be his 4th year.
His fourth year. So,
yeah,
this is going to be the best defense he's going to be on. He has to show something.
I'm so excited about this defense, man.
I think
the one issue is this CJ Mosley didn't play. We couldn't stop a damn nosebleed in the running backs. But dude, every time you say we have a good defense, it riles me up, dude. It riles me up because I think we have such a good defense. I can't. I don't know. There's no hole now because of Quan Alexander. It's amazing. Joiner, please. We're so hyped.
I think for Quinton Williams, right, you'll get the years that he's been here. He's had 2.5 sacks, 7 sacks, then 6 sacks. You're talking about a total of
he needs 10 this year.
He's had 53 total tackles, 36 was his max last season that he's ever had. He's a good, like, he's solid at like stopping, but he's not dominant. You know, I think that's the thing. Like when you draft somebody that high, they need to be dominant. And he just hasn't been dominant. Now, granted, that's everybody else that we've had right on the defensive line, plus our linebackers that also have to show up as well to make him flash. But as you both noted, this is going to be the best defense he's been a part of. So if he can't produce this season at a high level, I think you could still extend him, but it's not going to be for primo dollars. Like I'd rather keep somebody than just lose them and be like, all right, now time to replace somebody, unless you know you're going to get a stud defensive tackle in the upcoming draft.
Yeah,
you can't lose him for nothing.
To go to your point, Alex, his sophomore year, his last year at Alabama, to go off his best stats or whatever as a Jet, 45 solo tackles, 26 assists, 71 total tackles, 19.5 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks. So I need something at least at that level if I think he's going to be. I need 10 sacks this year. I need double-digit tackles for a loss. I mean,
are there going to be enough sacks to go around with Jermaine Johnson, Bryce?
Yeah, definitely.
Lawson, of course.
I mean, 10 sacks is one every other game. You know.
Yeah,
right, man. I'm hyped about it. I'm hyped about this team. What do you guys want to see with this? We mentioned in the top how we got smacked in joint practice last year. Also got embarrassed versus Green Bay. Honestly, first game out, first quarter out, whatever, in preseason. What do you guys think? What are you guys looking forward to for this Hawks game? I mean Hawks game. Stupid Atlanta Falcons game. I mean, I hate the Falcons. I have to see them in London smack us. I hate the Hawks. I had to watch them smack us in the Garden. I hate Atlanta sports. But go ahead.
I think for this game, I want to just see Flacco be consistent. That way, I know
he's going to play. You think first half or something?
He should.
He didn't dress last game.
I mean, I get that he's a veteran. I get.
Does he need to play?
I get that he's a veteran. But you also
Greg's shaking his head furiously.
He's saying no because I know Greg's terrified. But you also want to get your starters, some reps with the actual quarterback in game time situation. Like if you're not going to start Flacco, then don't start the rest of the starters and just wait until the regular season. That's just my opinion. Like if you're not going to do that to make sure that everyone's in sync.
We need a lot of other starters to play. But if Flacco goes down, now we're looking at Mike White.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Mike White and nobody else. I mean, great.
Whoa.
Whatever his name
was. Chris Strebler.
He looked okay.
I knew you were going to say, okay, get me out of here.
South Dakota, baby.
But to your point about
2 touchdowns, dude. 2 touchdowns, 60 yards, 125 quarterback rating.
He was running too. Like he looked pretty nice at some spots.
He's murdering.
No, Joe Flacco shouldn't play.
Don't do this to Jets fans. Don't spark the interest of like what could be if he could be the next Tom Brady.
There's no interest.
No. Do you see Garrett Wilson talking about the difference between a ball from Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson?
Wax and poetic, man.
Jets Twitter going nuts about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Flacco's a professional. He throws a beautifully catchable ball. There's nothing he's going to gain from preseason reps. Keep him healthy. We need him ready to go week 1 against the Ravens to absolutely light him up. Because Garrett Wilson's another one I want to talk about a little bit. 3 targets in his first game, 2 catches, 25 yards. One of the most productive outings from a rookie wide receiver this year in preseason so far. Even if Joe Flacco doesn't play and Mike White's playing, a couple other guys are playing, Garrett Wilson needs reps. Elijah Moore needs reps. Maybe Corey Davis doesn't need reps, but our young guys still need reps, even though they're going to be starters.
For sure. And if you're going to give them reps, give them with the quarterback that's going to be throwing it to them for a week or so. If you want to tell me that Joe Flacco shouldn't play like more than a quarter, I can get with you behind that, but to say not to play at all, it's a little wild, bro. That's a little wild.
Tom Brady went home, bro. Tom Brady went home.
Yo, we can't. This is not even apples to orange. This is not even apples to oranges.
Joe Flacco is elite, bro.
Joe Flacco's our GOAT.
He's playing the
All right, and
Ravens
on that
week
note,
1. He's playing the
this
AFC
podcast-
North, bro.
Super Bowl MVP.
This podcast is done. We got to leave
What do
Flacco.
you mean,
Oh
dude?
my god.
Joe Flacco and Breece Hall is dynamic.
No one's saying that it's not. No one's saying that it's not even doable. We're not doing the Joe Flacco elite conversation. Let's stop that right
What
now.
do you mean? He's elite. He's
He's gonna
an
have
elite
at least
quarterback.
one pass for 50 yards week 1. I can guarantee you that. At least
Yes,
one
he
pass
will.
for 50 yards.
If it's to Garrett, honest to God,
It better be to Elijah Moore, not Garrett.
I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I really think that fantasy wise, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends went up with Flacco.
For sure.
Yeah, I can get behind you on that. I can get behind you with that.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So,
But
so what's the issue? That means more yards. More, you know what I
But,
mean?
no,
That
but
means
no
more
one's,
touchdowns.
but to say that he's elite to do,
He's
to do
elite,
all this.
Alex.
he is elite. The issue is with it is that Joe Flacco's not the future and it's not sustainable. Yes, everyone's points went up or yards went up in fantasy for 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, not for a full season, because Joe Flacco can't make it through a full season.
No.
Performing at a
Then Zach
high
Wilson's
level.
going to come in relief from
Yeah.
week 5. Hopefully, makes it all the way to the end. But we
Dude, we
all of
gotta
our quarterbacks don't play full seasons, man. Everyone needs a break. Comes in, plays great, and they're like, "Oh yeah, those 7 weeks in a row were amazing." Can he do it for a full year? No, dude, he can't.
We have to fix that. We have to fix that as a franchise.
What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see for this game? Besides
just told
Flacco.
you.
No,
I want to
besides
see.
Flacco.
I told you. I want to see like all of our young guys get reps, like show a little bit more. That's really it. I mean, that's what preseason is, right? Just make sure that
Any
everyone's
specific
consistent
matchup?
on both sides. Any specific match? I really want to
Besides
see the
kickers,
defense.
obviously.
I want to see the defense take advantage of Marcus Mariota quarterbacking for the Atlanta Falcons.
Apparently, he's been looking good.
I mean, I was watching that game. He did look pretty solid. But still, it is Marcus Mariota. It is the Atlanta Falcons. They don't have a full squad that is meant to compete and go deep anywhere during this regular season. On paper, sure, they could shock the world. I highly doubt that. But I want to see this Jets defense take advantage of the Atlanta Falcons offense. So I'll be watching to see how the defense comes out.
Yeah, for me, it's same thing. It's like, again, this past week we had no sacks on offense, and then we had 5 sacks on defense. So I want to see the same thing again. Don't get sacked on offense. Get the ball out. To your point, John, you made the point earlier. I don't know if we talked about it on here with the Aaron Rodgers part of my take interview, but Mike LaFleur obviously up in Green Bay, Matt LaFleur here in New York, and Aaron Rodgers was talking about how he prefers the West Coast offense over the offense that we run now.
Mhm.
And I think he was saying, I think you said it earlier too, like this offense is about rhythm and about like going through your reads and just like boom, ba boom, ba boom. Like you have to just go step by step by step, and it's just going through those progressions. So getting that stuff down with our guys, whether it's Mike White or Joe Flacco, Garrett Wilson, the routes that he ran, I was watching it was like a 25-second Twitter clip, but it was his 3 routes that he got targeted on. Dude, he gets some separation on his breaks. Like the first route he ran, when he made his move, the defender, you can see it on the screen, like jumps, like falls back, and he gets like 2 or 3 yards of separation, and he carries that out throughout the route. So
I just
watch.
hate that's always Isaiah Dunn, bro. I don't know why it's always him.
So I just want to see Garrett Wilson keep doing that. I want to see Breece Hall, I've talked about it, just keep running the ball well, taking his time, doing what he does well. And I need to see a takeaway on defense. We got so much going on defense, whether it's all the defensive linemen, all the cornerbacks we brought in, the linebackers, the safeties. I mean, Whitehead played the whole first quarter last time. And I mean, he was looking good.
We had a chance at a pick last game too. We muffed it.
But Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, if we're not going to pick off those guys, who are we going to pick off in the NFL this season? So let's get it going on defense. I want to turn over.
Lamar Jackson. Well, Lamar Jackson's gonna run, so
Yeah, he's not even gonna
I just
throw
hope we stop the run. I hope
That's a good
CJ
point.
Mosley's ass plays. Okay, I hope he plays. I was really annoyed they didn't play. Play the damn game, hit somebody, and then go sit down.
Yeah.
like,
That was kind of my point with Joe Flacco. It's like, is he really going to get dressed up and do everything and then go out for 2 drives? Like, is CJ
you better
Mosley
dress
really gonna,
up. You better dress up this time. Last game he didn't dress up.
like, is
Hold
CJ
on.
Mosley really going to get dressed up and do
Whoa.
everything to tackle one guy and then walk off the field in a game that doesn't matter when he's a 10-year vet?
What are we doing?
You want it to
here,
be the
bro?
Mike White and Scherzer.
Yeah.
No.
Alex is
No.
like, I agree. I would like to see Flacco as well. I'll put that. Give me a series with Flacco. Let me just see what's up.
Greg's out here. I don't even know what you're. Greg, what are you doing, man? You just want to see the world burn.
I just want to see our guys healthy for week 1. These games don't matter.
Yo,
If
you
Joe
got to
Flacco
get
gets
ready for
hurt-
some contact.
If Flacco gets hurt,
If Joe
I'm
Flacco gets hurt,
spiraling.
we're in trouble because it's Mike White and nobody else. Like my whole comments to start this podcast on, am I worried if Zach Wilson gets hurt? I'm worried if Joe Flacco gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because we have
Especially
no one
because
else.
it's not like it's not. If Flacco plays week 1 and then gets hurt week 2, and then I'm looking forward to Mike White Bengals, then I can talk myself into something with Zach Wilson coming down the pipe. But I can't talk myself into week 1. Mike
Also,
White
too, you talked about it earlier, and the name that I was not allowed to bring up earlier, I will bring it up again. Jimmy G. The 2 years you said he's a good depth piece. The 2 years he played and he was healthy in San Francisco, they went to the Super Bowl and they went to the NFC Championship game.
Dude, he ruined my life on New England. Him and Matt Castle,
Just throwing it out
forever, they live rent free in my head. Jimmy G and
When
Matt
he's healthy,
Castle
when he's
live
healthy,
rent free in my head.
goes
That was
to the
supposed to be
NFC
our
Championship.
years, bro. I hate them. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want them to be successful. And speaking of not being successful, I'm so happy that Tom Brady went home. He doesn't want to play with Todd Bowles. Good. Go home, bro. Go do whatever you got to do. Don't play football.
You just
You're too good for
retire,
it.
dude.
Your coach stinks. You guys stink in Tampa. Take the Saints, winning P Weekly. Saints gonna win the division.
Easily.
Kamara's gonna be healthy. Running back takes half the season off.
Mark
telling
Ingram's
you.
back as a backup running back. They're gonna
But
be
Ingram.
fine.
Hey, but regardless, this is what we can do here, man. If the Jets throw the ball to Mims, if Flacco throws the ball to Mims versus the Falcons, and he catches like 2 balls and he looks competent, is that a win? Is that a win for us versus Atlanta?
Yeah, if Mims gets 5 targets and he looks good on those 5 targets, yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Mims hopefully showing up. We're going to trim down the wide receivers. And I'm looking forward to Mr. AG, Mr. Gardner at the cornerback room, playing a little more. Cornerbacks look good. Let's get the season started, bro. Let's get the season started, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Look, man,
Alex is not there yet. I'm so ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Last thing. Slipped my mind. Where I was going. Malcolm Butler out for the year? How crazy is that?
Oh, is that what you were saying? You said inside linebacker. I was like, what are you talking about?
No, not inside linebacker. IL, bro.
Oh.
Injured list. Malcolm
Oh,
Butler on the
yeah.
injured list. He's out for the year.
I did not know that.
They got Mills now as their number 1 cornerback. I mean,
Was it
Kendrick
Patriots?
Bourne.
Patriots. to
Kendrick
finish
Bourne
fourth
also
was
not
plus
looking good.
400. Right, that was a.
I don't think anyone could do worse than Miami.
I don't know. We'll save it for winning picks weekly. If you guys want to talk gambling, who's going to finish where in the AFC East and the odds? We'll
I
have
think
an
if I
episode
think
all
if I
about
was a gambling man, Greg, I would say Bills, Jets, Patriots, Dolphins
I think that might
in the hunt. Dun dun dun.
just need to be in the hunt.
The hunt. The hunt.
All right.
On that note, I feel like this is a good place to end it.
Yeah, with
So we're
Malcolm
all
Butler going down and Tom Brady not playing. That's exactly how I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly where we should end it. On that note, thank you everyone for tuning for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. You all know what to do. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow this podcast. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure to subscribe, whatever audio listening platform you use. And even if you listen to us on, let's say, Apple or Spotify, go over to YouTube and make sure to subscribe there. Go support us. It's free to do so. It helps us out when you go do so. Thank you, everyone, for tuning for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Jets. Let's go Yankees, bro. Get this damn win. Are the Mets going to cover plus 1.5? It's so embarrassing if they don't. Walker hurt too?
Easily.
Walker got hurt in the second inning.
Everyone's hurt on the Mets, but we don't complain. We don't make excuses. We just win.
August 16, 2022. Yankees going to sweep Scherzer and DeGrom. Let's go.